say a prayer for this sunburn because I fell asleep today in the sun for 2 hours and the UV was at a solid 10. And at this point, I'm afraid I have sun poisoning, so.
Y'all ever be so white, just sitting in the car be dangerous? Like, you just be burning for no reason. The sun hurts our skin. Why are we like this?
Sunburns are nature's way of letting white people know that you guys are immigrants too. Right? The sun's like, hey, go back to where you came from. England's cloudy for a reason.
Do not tell white people to tan. I tried tanning today. You want to see what happened to me? Close your eyes for 3 seconds. Look. I am never going under the sun again in my life. My legs, everything. Look at my legs. I used SPF, tanning oil, everything, and I still got burnt. And then I went home and I put Meebo on, and then I put yogurt on, and then I put tomatoes on. I am white. I do not belong under the sun. So please stop telling me to go anywhere under the sun. Khalas, no more. If I go to the beach, it's at nighttime. I'm wearing a hoodie. Don't tell me.
I have hell's itch, devil's itch. Some people call it different things. Currently walking around trying not to lose my absolute mind. Never heard of hell's itch? Don't worry, I'll explain to you what it is. Hell's itch is something that less than 1% of our population gets, and you get it when you get sunburn, even a mild sunburn.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right, so in today's episode, we're going to be reacting to videos of white people who are finally admitting they're jealous of black melanin, right? And we're also going to be looking at challenges the white and black people on TikTok are participating in, and that is called the golden hour challenge. And guys, when I tell you how black people are stepping into the golden hour to take pictures, has white people in awe, because for white people, actually, I didn't know about them. Some of them get good pictures, but many of them complain that their whiteness is not allowing them to get better photos. Right, and for those of you who don't know what the golden hour is, that is when the sun is just about to set, but you can still feel it in your skin, and it's usually gold in color. I guess that is why it's called the golden hour. I bet most of you have seen it during sunset. So guys, let's watch this episode and then we come back and talk about it. You can also let us know what you think about the episode down in the comment section, and consider subscribing if you're new to our channel. Let's watch.
Watch the sun hit me real quick. Watch the sun. Watch the sun. Bonjour.
Hey guys, it's the golden hour challenge. Far out.
Look! What? You see that? Oh, your skin pale. Oh, look, you don't know about that golden hour, do you? Do you know?
Oh man.
Oh, you like a goat.
The thing they don't tell you about being with a white woman is you can't let them out of the house in the sun, because they burn instantly and you're stuck rubbing aloe vera on them all day long. So bad.
It's so bad. And guys, here's the thing. I did put on sunscreen and I was only in the sun for like 2 hours. I cannot step outside without burning. And I do not mean this in like a funny hee-ha way. Like, I genuinely think I'm allergic to the sun, because anytime I step outside, burn. You want to see the Birkenstock tan line on my feet? Like, you can see my nose is a little red too. Like, I just burn. When I model overseas in like Asia, my agents literally call me the lobster, because they're like, oh, we've never had a white model sunburn so bad. I'm like, oh, thanks. So just me, my SPF 50 not working, and the hands of my brown husband who can tan in the literal darkness.
I'm sorry I don't have a sun curse.
Yeah, really. It's actually so bad. This is the only way I'll ever get a tan line, is a sunburn line. Very sexy, in my opinion. What do you think?
No, not one bit.
Okay.
Mate, I look like that fucking ice cream, that Neapolitan shit. Chocolate, strawberry, vanilla.
Nothing beats a jet to holiday.
Okay, this is a story about how I went to the Philippines and I got so sunburned that I had to go to the ER. This is me day one, super happy to be there and just having drinks, having a good time. And then we went island hopping. This is where things went wrong and I went in the water and I decided to do this for a pretty long time. Next morning I didn't feel good at all and I told Danny's parents that I didn't feel good. They didn't believe me until this started happening. We started to get a little worried. I started swelling more. This is me on the ride over to the hospital. This is me at the hospital. Basically, my face just kept swelling. After almost 5 hours in the ER, this is what I looked like. Yeah, everybody was definitely staring at me and thought I was a monster. Morning after hospital. Another after hospital. This was me after like 2 days.
Say a prayer for this sunburn because I fell asleep today in the sun for 2 hours and the UV was at a solid 10. And at this point, I'm afraid I have sun poisoning, so.
I wish I could say a sunburn like this can heal and just be forgotten, but unfortunately there is something about severe sunburns like this that does not get talked about enough. I'm Dr. Bio. I'm a board-certified family medicine physician and health advocate. Severe sun exposure like what Haley has experienced can unfortunately cause long-term damage to your skin. In fact, the American Academy of Dermatology has found that blistering sunburns can increase your risk for developing skin cancer later in life. I'm sharing this because I know right now there's a trend called tan maxing where people are seeking a UV index of 8 or higher, which means that if you do not have sun protection on, your skin can burn in a matter of 15 minutes. It is so important to please wear sunblock every single day. And if you've experienced a severe sunburn, please check in with your dermatologist so they can continue to closely monitor you now and in the future.
Wait, the lighting is better here.
Oh, hold on. Now we.
You see what's going on?
Now we gotta step out more.
You see what's going on? What's going on?
Oh!
Wait a minute! Hold on!
Sweat goes in that. Oh, wait.
Sweat. Yeah. Who needs a cannon? Wait, target is this way.
I am the target.
I have hell's itch, devil's itch, some people call it different things. Currently walking around trying not to lose my absolute mind. Never heard of hell's itch? Don't worry, I'll explain to you what it is. Hell's itch is something that less than 1% of our population gets, and you get it when you get sunburn, even a mild sunburn. This is my second time having it. The first time that I had it, I thought that I was having an absolute manic episode. The ER thought I was nuts until one doctor who happened to overhear it, read a medical study about it one time, came in and explained what was happening to me. Hell's itch is essentially your nerves getting sunburned. Yes, getting sunburned underneath your skin. Because my skin isn't even all that red. I don't even have peeling. It's not even like a bad sunburn. Now, again, I felt like a maniac the very first time that I had it because the pain, and I don't even know if you can describe it as pain. It feels like your skin is woven with like microscopic glass. And at the same time, somebody is like also dumping boiling hot water on you and pulling that glass out of your skin. Oh, and the best part, there's like no treatment for it whatsoever. Aloe, lotion, antihistamine creams, antihistamine pills, burn cream, cooling compress, you name it. Nothing really works. There are very few studies or research done on hell's itch. And the few doctors that have are really just basing their research off of Reddit groups, which is where I've gotten most of my relief from. Now, again, I thought I was going absolutely insane until one of the doctors had told me, don't feel bad. She has watched grown, full-size, burly-ass men, big Marines, firefighters, screaming like little children rolling around in their beds. I have an extremely high pain tolerance, and this is an absolute nightmare because there's nothing that brings relief except two things that you would not think would be relief. So if you have hell's itch or you know somebody who has it, please send this to them because the Google results and Reddit groups are not kidding. Boiling hot water in the shower on your skin, hotter than you can bear it, will give you relief for a couple hours. Hot air from a hairdryer will give you relief for a couple hours. I know it sounds insane, but essentially you're tricking the nerves or like resetting the nerves. Another popular thing that I've read about and there has been some studies on, which I'm not able to try tonight because nothing's open that I can buy it, is beta-alanine or beta-alkaline or something like that, which is an ingredient you find in most pre-workouts. Most people specifically mention C4 pre-workout. And I wouldn't even be opposed to drinking that right now, even though it's late. I'm not going to sleep anyway with this. Just took my third scalding hot shower of the day and covered myself in ceramide lotion. That's another one that has some relief effects. But yeah, Hell's Itch is brutal. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. It is absolutely just the most mind-blowing thing in the world that this happens, and there's not much research on it, so doctors have no idea what you're talking about. Most dermatologists don't even learn about it in school. I've never even heard somebody else talk about it until I got it for the first time. So if you got it, or you're laying in your bed right now with mild sunburn and absolute agony from itching, you have Hell's Itch. That's what it is. The more you know.
So it's almost summertime, and I'm not sure if there's anybody out there who is currently caring for a little white girl and was never a little white girl growing up, but you gotta be careful about her part getting sunburned. Like the part in my hair's greasy right now, but the part in your hair, this part right here, that can get sunburned. So if she's gonna be out in the sun a lot, you're gonna wanna do a lot of these hairstyles where there's no part, or else that will get sunburned. I understand that is the whitest shit ever, but if you're taking care of a little white girl out there and you didn't know, I needed you to know, because that shit sucks so bad. There is no worse pain in this world than when your hair part gets a sunburn. Also, make sure you put sunblock on her ears. It needs to go on the ears too. This part sticks out, it's gonna get burned. Or you can like just change the part. Okay, so if one day she's rocking the side part, she can do a middle part the next day. Just as long as it's not constant. As long as it's not constant. It only happened to me like once or twice because I wasn't actually that pale when I was a child. Believe it or not, I actually went outside, so I was tanned. But ugh.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about the videos you just played here. You know, it's quite interesting that there are some white people who literally cannot step outside their homes without applying sunscreen on. And even at that, there are those ones who still apply sunscreens, but they still come back with sunburns, right? And I just, like, as an African person, as a black person, I really wonder, because personally, I don't remember using sunscreen ever since I was young. I've only just recently started using sunscreen, and that is because, you know, I just wanted to start a little beauty skincare routine, right? But it's quite interesting that even after applying sunscreen, still white people get affected under the sun, and this is, I guess, a phenomenon we're still trying to understand, right? And there was one speaker today who was sitting in her car, and her leg had sunburn because she was driving when the sun was out, you know. And it makes me think and consider just how lucky we are, because we can be out in the sun all day and we won't face such issues. And this is when I just realized how sunburns can be very, very painful in white people, because I see a lot of clips of them trying to wear their clothing after they've gotten sunburns, and it legit looks very, very painful. Those are the kind of struggles, not to brag, but we black people can say we cannot relate, because you can hardly ever find a black person who's walked under the sun for the whole day come back and feel like they have sores on their body because the sun reacted with them, you know. And it makes me remember one speaker also. Sometimes they say comedy is just a closeness to truth that people disguise under comedy in order to get away with telling you something, you know. And there's that comedian who was saying, she was joking that the sun is also trying to tell white people to go back to where they came from, you know. And I'm like, the weather is supposed to agree with you if you belong in a certain area, right? And that is why in science we learn about natural selection, right? And that is where you find some weeds grow in some places because they thrive there, and some die because that is not the best environment for them, you know. And so you ask yourself, what is all this trying to communicate, and what is all this trying to mean? Because as human beings, I do believe that we have been created in order to be able to thrive and survive in the environments that you are in. So what is happening? Because also another thing I'm not understanding is there are white people who actually don't get that much affected by the sun, because how can you explain this white South Africans in South Africa? Because Africa is one of the continents that really is blessed with a lot of sunlight, right? You also look at Australia, they have a lot of heat and sun, and white people there there are thriving, right? And so I'm wondering, why is it that there are some white people who get affected to such extremes where they can no longer go out unless they're ready, they're prepared for the redness and the itching that comes with this being boiled out when they're outside the sun, And you ask yourself, so what's the difference between those kind of white people and those ones who can be able to endure under the harsh suns? And I saw another comment on TikTok of someone saying, also in whiteness, there's different type of whiteness, right? There are those people who are considered white, and there's those ones that when you start, even in whiteness, when you start putting in ranks, there are those ones who don't really, they're not considered as white. And I'm like, could that be a contributing factor? I don't know. It's just me trying to understand.
Right. And for this very same reason, you find that in Africa, when white people come to vacation in a country like Kenya, sunscreen in Nairobi will not be sold at the same price with sunscreen in coastal regions of Kenya. Coastal regions of Kenya will be very, very expensive because normally people who stay there, the black Kenyans, them they can do without, or they can just apply Vaseline and go on about their day. But since white people are vacationing there, mostly, sometimes maybe you might run out of your sunscreen, or you might forget to carry one for the road or the trip, and hence you'll be forced to buy. And I think this is the reason why some African countries usually take advantage of the fact that when white people come here, they know they need that sunscreen, so they hike up the prices, And we've had a lot of white people for some time now on TikTok saying that they do think that black gene is kind of superior, especially because there was a man in another episode of ours who was describing an encounter he had with his tattoo artist, right? So the man is black and his tattoo artist is a white man. This man was telling, and the man was well built, okay? He had gone to get a tattoo. And the white man was telling him, he thought black people had superior genes because during his time in prison, he served some time in prison, and he had been a year in prison, and he started working out when he went to prison. A year had passed, and there was no much difference after him working out, right? And then a black kid was sent to the same prison. He started working out, and in a matter of 3 months, the kid was even more ripped than he was. So from that instant, it made him believe that to some extent, in more ways than one, black people might have superior genes according to him.
Right, guys? So right now we're just asking you, what do you think about this? Do you think black people have superior genes? Anyway, I think we'll leave it at that. Looking forward to seeing your comments on the comment section. Also, remember to subscribe if it's your first time here, and we'll catch you on our next episode. Thank you so much for always tuning in.